Oncology is a key focus for Pfizer, with 40% of R&D devoted to the oncology space. Pfizer is committed to advancing cancer care for your patients. Learn more at cancer.pfizer.com.
War Eagle, and welcome to another edition of Ever to Podcast. This is the show at E2C Network where we are trying to catch you up on the latest Auburn news, topics, discussion pieces, scuttlebutt, rumors, whatever it is that you need to talk about around the water cooler on social media, things that you need to be aware of. We're here to do that for you in the Auburn Experience, all about Auburn sports, Auburn culture, Auburn family. The easy way to say it, though, if it's orange and blue, it's what we do. So thank you so much for joining us and what we're going to be doing today here on Ever to Podcast, episode 102. Today's date is June 26, 2026. And as always, I'm your host, Kyle Loomis. Now, if you have been following this particular series for a while, you'll know that we had a little bit of a hiatus, just over a month since our last episode, 101. Things got a little bit crazy with the end of the athletic calendar year where we weren't able to really maximize our time for this, and we're focusing on other things. We had some other crazy things, life events for us, and we, had a little bit of a vacation too here. But I think we're back in the saddle and ready to go again for the most part. We'll see how this goes. But on a housekeeping note, before we get to the news and all that kind of stuff, we did reach out to all of you via, the show and ask, what would you like this format to be during the summer? Because last year, this show originated as a almost during every weekday type of show. Then it became every couple of days during the middle of the week, and then it shifted as it needed to, I think, during the athletic calendar year when games are actually happening to just a once-a-week thing. The feedback that we heard was really nothing, not really wanting to change. So I think that's what we're going to do for the time being is still keep this on Fridays as often as we can on every Friday, hopefully, and give you just the updates on things that are happening throughout the week. And as always, you really want to make sure that you're also subscribing. If you're subscribed to this already, you are subscribed to it. Our main podcast, the Auburn Experience, where we'll go into depth in some of these stories and others as well that we will have the opportunity to cover here because more news comes out throughout the weekend. Anyway, plenty of housekeeping. We're back, 102, episode 102. Let's get into it now. We're going to start with you some Auburn in the pros news. You'll know the name Maddie Pinta if you have been following Auburn softball. They're getting going again with the Professional Softball League. Maddie Pinta is back out there available. Apparently, some of them were playing overseas and couldn't start their seasons with them, and so they made a post about her being back with the Oklahoma City Spark. I know it's not everybody's cup of tea to necessarily keep up with what's going on in professional softball, but if you are interested in seeing how Maddie Pinta is doing, you can follow the Oklahoma City Spark, their social media account. They call her the 2025 Spark Strikeout Queen, which that shouldn't shock you that she's known as the Strikeout Queen for them for what she did here as Auburn as well. So Maddie Pinta, your Auburn in the Pro story this particular week. Now, probably one of the top two stories of the week. It was teased on Sunday by Auburn accounts on social media and announced on Monday. The Ella Langley Dandelion Tour is coming to Neville Arena on August 28th and the 29th. Yes, the week before the football season starts, they're going to be hosting them in Neville Arena. There'll be others as well. But let's be honest, you're probably interested in Ella Langley. If you don't know who Ella Langley is, I even know who she is at this point, and I'm not even that up to date with pop culture and stuff like that. But she is a very popular name in country music right now. She is from Hope Hull, Alabama. She's reportedly an Auburn fan. There's evidence to prove that. So this one is a pretty big deal. So she's coming to Auburn. There's a lot of hype about that. There's already been a pre-sale, as I understand today. You can probably tell I'm not going. It's not my thing. But also, those tickets are pretty pricey out there. And it's a 2-night event, so you can imagine it's still, even with that, going to be hard to get in there for a decent price. But from what I understand, she puts on a great show. And this is a really big thing. When we talked about with Auburn hosting big events and Jordan Hare and Neville, if you followed the main show, we've covered in detail about hosting Argentina versus Iceland, Messi being there, and what a big impact that was. I can imagine will have a similar impact, especially think about this as the start of the just the academic calendar year has already been underway, that they'll have been arrived in August and started school, the Auburn students. And so this will be almost like a big weekend kickoff for them in a sense after they've kind of cut their teeth with the first week or so of classes. So Ella Langley coming to Auburn. Pre-sales already happened. Good luck getting your tickets. Enjoy it if you're heading out there. We've got some in the game news. College Football 27 is going to be out, the third iteration of the revamp of the college football EA Sports College Football Series. And Auburn is starting to get a little bit of notice from it about things where they rank or players where they rank. Auburn in this game is ranked as the number 14 toughest place to play in the game. Now, I don't remember where that ranks compared to last year, if we've dropped or anything like that. It wouldn't surprise me if they've dropped Auburn a little bit, given how some of the struggles have happened over the last couple of years, even in the confines of Jordan-Hare. But, they're definitely at minimum a top 15 just in anybody's list of toughest places to play, and they should be a top 10 if we can get back to being a little bit more consistent there. It's just a video game, so you do with that what you will, whether you agree with that particular list or not. Now, also in the game as well, you've got Xavier Atkins, who has been named the number 3 overall linebacker in the game. Say it with me. So if you're excited to play with him, you should be. Excuse me. He is one of the best available to play with defensively on the linebacker core. And, in real life, this kind of correlates with some of the accolades that he has been receiving and is probably going to receive this year if he stays healthy and has even just an equivalent year to what he did last year. More general athletics news. We had an honor that was announced probably about a month ago at this time, but it actually happened. The Alabama Broadcasters Association has added to their Hall of Fame with an Auburn person, Andy Burcham, voice of the Auburn Tigers. Now, this was announced that he was joining the 2026 class back like in May, I think it was, maybe a little bit before that. I believe we talked about it on the Auburn Experience, but they're doing a tour where they're honoring these people at different places, and they did that at Auburn this week. There hasn't really been information come out from that event in general, but that did supposedly take place. So I just wanted to take the opportunity to congratulate Andy again. I think well-deserved. We all love having him as the voice of the Auburn Tigers. And of course, he's a Hall of Famer. It's like, duh, at this point. Baseball news. We still got some final baseball things rolling in, list and postseason awards, things like that. And Auburn even put out this second straight season with multiple freshman All-Americans. Those 2 for this year shouldn't surprise you, Mason McCrane and Ethan Bingaman, or Ethan Dingaman, as I call him, because he hits dingas, But that's by Baseball America. Yes, I know that was a lame joke, but bear with me. Also, looks like with across all the rankings, not just Baseball America, so D1 Baseball, USA Today, NCBWA, Perfect Game, and Baseball America, all the rankings, their final ones are out for the year, and Auburn is a consensus top 10 team. 9 in every one of them except Baseball America, where they're number 10. I think that fits about right with the way they finished in the postseason as well, so that makes a lot of sense.
I wrote a little song to remind you, Choice Hotels get you more of the experiences you value. The Cambria Hotel's got it all. A rooftop bar, have a ball. Bring a date, your squad, or even your mom. Book direct at choicehotels.com.
This episode is brought to you by Fox One. Watch all 104 matches of the FIFA World Cup live in 4K for just $19.99 a month with 3 days free. Build your own multi-view, choose up to 3 streams, and follow player spotlights. Stay on top of every moment with live stats, highlights, and instant replays. The FIFA World Cup, streaming live on Fox One. Offers are subject to change. See fox.com for complete terms and conditions.
Completion news, kind of, in a sense, because there's some other things we'll need to address here in a second. We had Mantas Rubus. Oh, God, I'm gonna try this one. Y'all just bear with me. Mantas Rubstavicius, I think is how you say it. We're gonna get it right. Mantas. He is officially signed with Auburn. Now, he committed several month ago, and there was, when someone comes over internationally, there's the whole figuring everything out. And that finally appears to have happened. So Mantas will be with Auburn this upcoming season. They officially announced that the signing did take place. Now you've got some NBA draft news, which I think is very, intriguing in all ways, but let's cover all of it. In what I believe they call a 10-day contract. Let's see if it's listed here. I think it's like a 10-day exhibition deal. Keyshawn Murphy got signed by the Washington Wizards, so not drafted, but a free agent deal. Same thing here for the other Keyshawn. Keyshawn Hall was actually signed in a free agent deal to play this summer in the Summer League with the Miami Heat. He's heading back towards the Florida area where he came from when he played with Auburn in his final season. So that's pretty interesting there to see if he's got any more fans left over in the Florida region from his time playing at UCF. So congrats to both of those guys. Now, the other story part of this is Narcisse Ngoy from playing over in France and coming to play for Auburn this year was actually drafted by, I'm blanking on who it was. The Clippers. The Atlanta Hawks were involved in that as well, but was drafted by the Clippers. A lot of, I think, conversation and confusion about this because apparently his rights to be drafted were drafted, I guess is what you would say. Sounds redundant. But basically, he can play with Auburn this year, and the indication, I believe, has come in from a couple quotes that he will play for Auburn this year, even though he has had his draft rights, I guess, purchased or taken by the Clippers. So right now, it seems like everything's fine and everybody is on board for the most part. But that one, I think, got some of the Auburn basketball fans a little bit concerned about what might happen with that. But nothing to worry about at this point. On top of that, we got some good-looking news for this year as more and more schedule pieces start to come together for that 2026-27 Auburn basketball schedule. The women's side came out last week, and we didn't discuss it in the Auburn experience this week. We saved it for this week where we can combine the two of them. So for this year, the important information for you, the big stuff here, the home and away opponents, Alabama, Ole Miss, repeating there too, both obviously Alabama, but Ole Miss as well, but this time LSU. That's right, Will Wade you're going to see him twice. LSU in Neville over there in Baton Rouge. That's an interesting one right there. Your away schedule will be Arkansas, Kentucky, South Carolina, Texas A&M, Texas, and Vanderbilt. And your home schedule will be Georgia, Florida, Missouri, Mississippi State, Oklahoma, and Tennessee. Huge home setup there with Florida, ties there, Georgia, the rivalry there, and Tennessee as well with the connections back to the Pearls and all that still at play. So it should be a fun schedule, and no dates right now, just the opponents that you need to be aware of and where they will be playing them, essentially. Auburn women's tennis news, when you have quite the successful program that they've had and the success this year, you're going to obviously have coaches be not only taken away from you, which we've already talked about in previous shows, but now you've got others being given the opportunity to elevate when those spots open up. Pete Francis has been promoted to associate head coach, not just an assistant coach, but associate head coach. I often relate this for people who are asking what's the difference. I assume associate head coach is basically the last step you can get before you're a head coach, and in some ways could be considered a very light coach in waiting type of situation, depending on the situation. I don't think that would be the case here, but it's just that final title that you can be given and respect that you have earned to be named that. So congratulations to Coach Pete Francis for Auburn women's tennis. More honors coming in as Auburn track and field season is now complete. We've talked about what a great end that was with the world record from Jacoby Tharp and all that. Well, because of that, not only him, but his coach got some really big honors. Track and field athlete of the year for the USFTA TFCCCA National Men's Track and Athlete of the Year goes to Jacoby Tharp. No duh. And then Assistant Coach of the Year, his coach, Ken Harnden, also got that award as well. So two big nods for them. On top of that, officially, this was also a duh. This is kind of like the Jackson Coiven element here, too, with the awards definitely needing to go to him. Semifinalists are out for the Bowerman Award, essentially the Heisman for the track and field athletes. And you've got the two additions or two potential candidates for that, Jacoby Tharp and Kainsola Ajayi, who also is a national champion as well. and made it to the semifinals. There will be one more cut down to 3 at the 10 that there are now, with 2 of those be representing Auburn. So I think you got a good shot to have one of them. There should be one of them. Let's just be honest. We know who's going to be a semifinals, and it'll be a travesty if that doesn't happen. Let's round you out with some football news. It looks like we've got on here. Yes, football news. Some commits this week. Deshaun Hall, wide receiver, committed to Auburn. 6'5", very tall wide receiver, 195 pounds right now. It looked like Penn State might be in the running there with him. An Alabama get for the Auburn Tigers out of Prattville, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So that was a nice surprise, not surprise, but a good way to start the week and the day, because he was just the second wide receiver committed of the day came by way of Cedric Simmons, who committed to Auburn, 5'10", 195, was considered by Alabama, Purdue, things like that. He also commits to Auburn. So a good day of commits, good day of wide receiver commits for Auburn football earlier in the week. Preseason stuff for football. Preseason Athlon sports list here, all SEC, all American. We got 2 of those there with Rashawn Pleasant and, you guessed it, Xavier Atkins, both being named to that particular list. You've got first team All-American for Xavier Atkins and second team All-American for Rashawn Pleasant, and all SEC honors for the 2 of them as well. So very much deserved, even preseason. And as a final note here for some football news, you've got a very big accomplishment for Auburn. I think for this time it shouldn't be missed or dismissed with the lack of on-the-field wins that have been happening. You've got a very big clap here to the Auburn fan base for showing up and showing out. 4 straight seasons of season ticket sellouts. 63,500 season tickets that are sold for the last 3 years, or at least this year, and probably the same, or at least a few less in previous years. I don't know how it all cracks down, but 63,500, 4 straight years, season ticket sellouts. Congrats to Auburn. Congrats to the Auburn family for showing up and showing out, even when sometimes the wins aren't there necessarily. Y'all have done your due diligence to be representing Auburn well. So tip of the hat to you, the Auburn family. That's going to do it for the news. We don't have any calendar of events or things like that. There might be some things coming up soon we would make you aware of if it falls under our purview. But it is summer, and we'll continue with this series as often as we can right now on Fridays for you, so be looking for that. And we appreciate you being here and hanging out with us. We're always looking for feedback from you about this show, about other things that we do. e2cnetwork@gmail.com is a great way to do that. You can also hit us up on the direct messages on any social media platform, and we always are open to hearing from you in any questions, comments, things like that. Before we go, I want to remind you the Auburn Creed. Ask you to do justly, love mercy, and walk humbly with God. We ask you to do the same. War Eagle.